Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have an extremely, extremely talented young man with me, Ace Williams. Ace, thank you for being here. How are you?
Pretty good, Scotty T. Pretty good.
You
Hanging in
you
there.
are you are a comedian, a writer, a musician, a producer. I was told you can even do like plumbing and electrical work. Can you? Is that true or no?
No, that's not true, but I am a master painter.
Oh,
I can paint
did you
anything.
did you did you say painter?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said masturbator. I didn't.
Well, I do a lot of caulking too. So you got to caulk before you paint.
We're off to a rough start, Ace.
I'm a
You're
master
in Tampa,
caulker.
Florida. Yeah, yeah. Let's try and get this thing back on the rails. I'm sorry. I just I took us right off the rails right away.
Right
Uh,
on.
Tampa, Florida. That's where you're at.
Yeah, right here in Carrollhood.
Okay. Were you born and
Carrollhood.
raised in Tampa, Florida?
No, no, they wouldn't let me be born here. Yeah,
There's laws against that.
no, I was born in Germany.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an army brat.
Well, go ahead. Give us a little of the story. What are you in a rush? I'm not keeping
No,
you, am I?
actually, I was in a rush. I had a
Look,
twin
sizzle
waiting
chest,
behind
let's
me.
go. Out with it.
I had a twin waiting behind me, so I was in a rush when I was born. Yeah.
Okay, I was born holding the IUD.
Huh?
I was born holding the IUD.
Oh, the IUD. It's like a cereal prize in the cereal box. Yeah.
There's only one thing wrong with your child, Mrs. Townsend. It's alive. All right, so you were born in Germany,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to go ahead a little bit here because your company is Soho Tribe Production. Now, if I'm right, Soho is New York, right?
Well, there's lots of Sohos. There's Soho in London. There's Soho New York.
Okay.
It's kind of short for South Howard down here in Tampa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Here I had you in New York. So how did
Yeah.
you get from, you said Army brat or military, Germany? Where all have you been, if you don't mind sharing a little of that?
Oh, let's see. As far as Ohio, Georgia,
Okay.
Florida. Yeah,
Is
pretty
Florida your
much.
favorite? Do you like Florida the
Oh
best?
yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
Florida's
The weather.
well, the weather's great, but yeah, that the weather's good and
Okay.
the opportunities are better.
Well, let's start with when did you first start doing comedy?
Oh, probably 2009. Yeah.
2009. And was that
Yeah.
stand up?
Yeah. Well, actually, I did comedy sooner than that. I had a band, and the band was called Soho Tribe.
Okay.
And it was a cover band. We were booked a year and a half in advance. We were really popular in the Bay
Yeah.
Area. And I would tell jokes in between the songs. I'd write
Okay.
some short materials, one liners, two
Right.
liners, and I kept them. And then over time, uh, I slowly started getting into comedy. And about
Okay.
2009, I started doing it regularly. I started running production and marketing for one of the Coconuts Comedy Clubs,
Okay.
one of their affiliates,
All right.
their show in Clearwater. I ran their marketing and I hosted their Thursday night open mic comedy show for 2.5 years,
Okay.
and that was a success. And then I started doing more business entrepreneurial things for myself,
Yeah.
and yeah,
We'll get
so
into that. You've got a lot going on. Like right there, I'll just touch on it because I watched some of your videos today in preparation for this, and you mentioned the music stuff, and you have a cover version of Old Town Road, Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus, I think.
yeah,
And
it's
it's what Old Folks Home, I think you
old folks
changed it to
home.
parody.
Yeah, I
And I
use it
mean,
as
that
my
is
closer.
the lyrics. And I worked in the music business. You and I've never met, but I worked in the music business, and it's really witty lyrics, and it's just great. And you mentioned that you would like to get it on Dr. Demento or Sirius XM. It's excellent. If people that are watching this, go check it out. It's funny stuff.
Yeah, it's on Apple Music and iTunes,
Spotify.
Spotify, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it's just great. But that's what I was going to touch on because have a lot of different guests. I have stand up comics. I have the Instagram. I've had an OnlyFans woman on here. Daddy. But you are not just, in other words, we can't pigeonhole you because you have, the content that you do from a music video kind of thing like that to, you do so many different things.
Well, I've been producing shows and benefit concerts, benefit shows, comedy shows
Right.
for many years. Every single show I've produced was a sellout, sold out show.
That's
And
wonderful.
I now have a new program that I've produced. It's called the Broken Down Boomers
I
Comedy
was going to
Show.
mention it. I got it written down here. Broken Down Boomers Comedy.
Yeah. So that's where my new work is happening now, my new project, and
Okay.
it's going well.
Tell
Yeah,
tell the people about it. Tell everybody about it.
we just had two sellout shows last week, and we have a major show coming up October 5th, which is at the Ritchie Suncoast Theater,
Okay.
and that we're going to film for a special for hopefully to market it to a streaming service.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're
What
hoping
does
to sell that out too with a
the
lot of baby
Broken Down
boomers.
Boomers comedy or Broken Down Boomers, is that literally that describes it?
Yeah. Well, we've got four comics, me and Spike Salzer, Tom Wise. We've got one more that we've been using Bobby Goldsmith, but we're going to probably find a replacement for him, unfortunately, because he can't be filmed due to a contractual agreement he has with
I
a
see.
company.
I see.
So we'll bring in somebody like we're hoping to bring in my good friend Jay Hewlett from LA for that show.
Okay.
He's amazing.
So it's you four guys, and then it's just
Yes, and also we'll have our MC. Yeah. So
okay. Um, you're also, I have this written down just because I like to do sax player in Stick Martin show band.
yeah.
What was that about?
Well, it's funny how we met. He met me at my open mic, and he's
Okay.
an amazing musician. He's like a modern day Mozart. He writes and plays every music known to man, instrument known to man. He's
Okay.
got CDs out. So he came and did some comedy at my open mic, and I found out he's got this really popular hip hop band. So yes,
Okay.
I started sitting in with him, and it's just started hitting
Yeah.
musically. I mean, we just synced like that, and
Okay.
so I started writing parts for all his songs, sax parts, and next thing you know, we're opening up for Billy Idol in at the Redwood Run. We're opening up for Afro Man, Toots and the Maytals. We're just traveling
Wow.
all around, and I did that
Jeez Louise.
for 5 years as his sax player, sax and keys and harmonica.
Wow. You sure you don't do plumbing and electrical work?
No, I leave that for the professionals.
Man, you got so much going on. Well, and I want to touch on, and hopefully we'll get some comedy out of you because
Yeah, we're
enough
gonna
about
have
your
Carrie.
accolades and all that you've done. But I watched some of your stand up bit, and man, you are killer.
Thanks. We got
Yeah.
Carrie. Yeah, it's a team effort for the Broken Down Boomers. We're gonna have Carrie McNally as part of our October show too. He's an
Okay.
amazing comic here in the Bay Area too.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate the nice words.
What
Thank you.
do what do you enjoy doing more out of all the stuff, whether it's be playing in a band or doing the producing comedy shows, or do you still enjoy doing the stand up?
Wow, that's a good question. I love writing music, but I love writing comedy. I've actually got more than just writing stand up. I've got a sitcom pilot I wrote, and it's called Forget About It. It's about uh it's an original sitcom pilot, and it's
Okay.
complete with the series Bible, everything. And
Okay.
that's the log line is a notorious mob hitman wakes in a hospital with amnesia and must perform anonymous charitable acts for a snarky New Jersey death angel to redeem his past. So it's a
Okay.
funny premise, and
All right.
it made it in the top 15% of Austin Film Festival's script writing contest of over 7,600 scripts. So
Okay.
it's got some meat on the bone there.
Good.
And I've got
Well,
a couple other
yeah,
movie pilots I've written.
you sent
Movie
me
scripts.
about 2 dozen different things, and the last one you sent me was that you got a book also coming out.
Yeah, this is my book cover. I don't know if you can see it. It's called "You Might Be a Boomer If."
Jeff
And
Foxworthy's gonna sue the shit out of you.
nah, it's not about rednecks.
I'm kidding you. No, I mean
Yeah.
it's that's the first thing went through my mind
Well,
because
it's
that's Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck
you
if.
might be a redneck if, but this is you might be a boomer if.
Well,
So
go ahead,
all
give
the
me a
jokes are
couple.
about
I'm
boomers.
a boomer. I want to hear a couple. Do a couple.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Kind of caught me off guard here.
Well, you can do whatever you want. It's your comedy minute.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
you
hope
want the comedy
I just
minute?
hope Saul, I'm just hoping I get some comedy out of you. Your arm must be, from patting yourself on the back like that. Your arm's got to be sore.
You might be a boomer if you've ever named one of your kids after a rock opera. And the artwork is fully illustrated. The artwork is a guy yelling at his kid saying, "Tommy Who Jones, get in here."
Okay.
And yeah, there's some somewhat risque ones in there. A lot of you'll have to get the book.
I'm all about it. Give me
Yeah.
your darkest and dirtiest stuff. That's what this is all about.
Yeah. So I'm having fun with that. It's a good book. I really love it, and it's illustrated by Odessa Doolittle, and he just knocked it out of the park on all the illustrations. Oh, you might be a boomer if you've spent 10 minutes or more unraveling a phone cord to keep it straight. You ever done that? Hang it out and just let it unravel. You gotta let
I've
all the
done
cord.
it.
You might be a boomer if you ever done that. So yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
do you have like a favorite bit from your stand-up that you could do for us?
Well, I closed with Old Town Road or Old Folks Home, my
Yeah, right.
parody. But let's see a couple of favorites. Well, this is one of my personal favorites because I'm married. I've been married a long time, 37 years.
Right.
So my wife, whenever she doesn't know something,
Right.
she always asks me. I'm always the first person she asks about something because,
Right.
and she always expects me to know what she's asking about. She always expects me to know the answer. So the other day she asked me how the phrase "it is what it is" got so popular. Well, I didn't know, so I just said it is what it is. And then she punched me in the arm. Right, real hard. And because she thinks I'm a smartass. I said, "What'd you do that for?" And she said, "It is what it is."
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, whenever my wife goes on a diet or does anything of any kind of project, she goes totally 100 full bore percent tunnel vision right into it,
Right.
100%.
Okay.
And she started a new diet to become a vegetarian. And we switched cars the other night. And I was going through a CD collection. There was the Cranberries and Smashing Pumpkins and Corn. She got really, really pissed when I switched her Black Eyed Peas for Meatloaf.
Okay.
Totally pissed. She got really mad the other day. I came home from the store. She asked me to go out and get her favorite lemon scented douche, and I came back empty handed because I couldn't find it. She got really pissed. I said, "Don't be such a sourpuss."
Good Lord. Good Lord. Keep going. I'm in. I'm buying it. I'm good. Keep
All right,
going.
okay. Yeah, sometimes I get crazy. I like to experiment with drugs, and you know,
Yeah.
last night I took some nitrous oxide and some X-Lax, for shits and giggles.
That one, I love that one. That one I
That's my
saw
ass off.
earlier. I love that one.
Thanks.
You know why I like that one so much?
True story?
No, I didn't do the X-Lax, but I did a shitload of nitrous oxide. I don't want to get you in trouble. Have you ever tried Nitrous oxide, Ace?
Well, if I did, I probably wouldn't remember it.
Oh
But
no, Ace, if you did nitrous oxide, you'd remember it.
so one thing I was going to tell you about the Broken Down Boomer show, it's not like your typical comedy
Well,
show.
how do we get off of nitrous oxide, for Christ's sakes?
It
I
wore
was
off
trying to
real
get a little
fast.
humor in this thing.
So this is our artwork for our shirt design.
Oh, good Lord. You're like a
Release in our
goddamn
boomer.
nonstop billboard.
Yeah.
Jesus
We've
Christ.
been, what we have at the beginning of our show, I recorded in a studio all these parodies of like the Beatles and the Beach
Right.
Boys and Moody Blues, a whole montage,
Right.
Redbone, Come and Get Your Love. And I
Yeah,
rewrote
I
the
know.
lyrics and recorded it singing about the Broken Down Boomers. And I
Okay.
also have an outro after the show's over. And we have our own theme music too, as well, for the Broken Down Boomers show. So
Okay.
the show starts with all these parody songs, and in between each song is an 8-track sound. So it starts off with the whole thing starts off with, "Hey man, yeah, you get your hands off my 8-track player." Then the whole parody list of songs starts off to warm up the audience with some fun parody songs
Right.
of everybody from Jimi Hendrix to
Right.
so many the Bee Gees, Casey and the Sunshine Band takes their lyrics and rewrites it about the Broken Down Boomers, and it has a click of the 8-track in
The
between
8-track.
each one. So it's a lot of
Well,
fun.
you just lost it. There's a batch of them don't know what cassettes are, let alone 8-tracks.
Yeah, you remember
No,
8-tracks?
nowadays they don't even have CDs anymore. It's all downloads, brother.
That's crazy, ain't it? Yeah, I hear audio cassettes are coming back. I don't know. I just saw that on the news.
I have a ton of vinyl records. I have a ton of cassettes. I worked in the music business. I have a ton of stuff.
I got reel to reels of Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra and many others. Yeah.
Well, let's just try and wrap this up with the comedy bit. No, I just want to try and get, because again, it's a comedy show. We want to try and do a little comedy here.
Okay.
Do you have a least favorite gig, and do you have a favorite gig? I always like to try and get that out of people.
Okay, my least favorite gig.
Let's forget the music and all, just stand up.
All right.
Or you know what? I shouldn't say that. Any gig, I don't care.
Okay.
Just I'm trying to get a little comedy out of here. Least favorite gig.
Least favorite gig was when I was first getting started. I was asked to work with a comedy show at a gentleman's club during the day, and it was like a redneck gentleman's club. I mean,
Okay.
we're talking out in the boonies. So I'm like, I'll try it. So
What state were you in?
this is in Florida, so we got
Okay,
Florida
you're in
guys,
Florida.
Florida man. So it turns out that there were only 2 dancers, a young thin dancer and her mom. That were
Are you kidding me?
no, and so we're getting ready to do the show, and there's nobody in there, and finally some guys come in, 5 of them, redneck guys, like wearing like cut off sleeves, like
Right.
the plaid, whatever, like they
Okay.
look like some ruffians, right? So we found out they came in there because they were having a bachelor party. So they wanted to see some skin, right?
Yeah, right.
They did not want to hear comedians. So they were just like the worst crowd to perform for. So I'm trying to do all my one-liners, boom, 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 boom. And every comic that went up there just bombed because
What?
at least I got a couple laughs, but
What?
all the other comics, they just hated it. It was
I'm trying to understand the concept. This bar was a strip joint, a gentleman's club, you call them,
Yeah.
the strip joint. Okay. So they've got strippers, a girl and her mom.
yeah.
And I guess in between the girl and the mom, you guys went up and did comedy?
No, they wanted us to do all our comedy in the afternoon when there's nobody there. I don't know who booked this or set this up. They didn't promote it. There's nobody there. So it was nuts. So
Even the one stripper and her mom weren't there.
no, they were there. They were waiting to go on after us. So the guys kept saying, "We're the strippers. We're the strippers. We're the strippers."
Oh God. Oh, God.
So that was nuts. I also performed at a nudist colony, nudist
Are you
resort.
kidding me?
No, I did. It's
What was that like?
that was cool. Well, when I first walked up, there was a poolside, bunch of people poolside in the back, and from a distance, it looked like they were sunning themselves. From a distance, it looked like I was walking into an albino alligator farm, and the booker met me at the front door. He said, "Hey, man, just relax. How's it hanging?" I said, "Well, not as low as yours."
Jeez Louise.
And yeah, I did the show. It was good. And then they made me their guest bingo caller at the end of the night. So cross that off my bucket list. Never done it. I grabbed two
You played-
balls at the same time. Not mine, but I grabbed two by mistake. And
Oh my
and
God.
I said, I 69. And three old ladies stood up and said, so do I, so do I. I said, bingo.
Wow. That's
But my best
incredible.
gig probably was recently. We just did the Clear Sky Cleveland. It was a sellout show, and just everything clicked for the Broken Down Boomer show. And we handed
Okay.
out pencils and 4x6 cards and have everybody write their favorite memories growing up as a boomer. And at the
Okay.
end of the show, the four of us got on stage and shared those memories back to the people. And they're all just, it was a very cathartic. They loved it because
Wow.
somebody talk about coming back from Vietnam and not knowing the Beatles were popular and that kind of thing. So
Huh.
it was fun.
So you're trying to, and I'm poking fun a little bit, but you're really trying to start a like a movement there as far as boomers, and because I'll be honest, I get killed. I mean, I'm going to be 62 here in August, and I put up stuff, and I get screw you, boomer, or
Yeah.
I really do. I get killed,
So I
but
keep it.
4.5 years in, I've kind of built up an exterior shell. Like, in other words, I did a joke last week. I'll give you an example. You're saying to yourself, Scotty T, tell me an example, okay? And I knew it going in, but my buddy said, do it, Scotty. My wife said to me, will you try to see things from my point of view? So I went and looked out the kitchen window. Now
Oh,
I knew going in that was going to get me a batch of screw you, you boomer asshole, and it did.
well,
I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is this is geared for boomers. There, a lot of young kids aren't showing up at your shows.
we've had a
Or
few.
actually, am I wrong?
We've had a few, and they liked it.
Yeah.
They thought it was entertaining, and we had some, compliments from them too. But mainly,
Okay.
it's for the boomers, and we can see immediately about 90% of the audience is our demographic, and
Yeah.
we just started our social media, and we're gaining,
Good. Good.
a lot of
Well, look, man, I'm going to do
followers
everything
quick.
I can to help you because I like it. I think it's great, and I think not just that you're so talented. And I'm not just saying this. I honestly believe this, Ace. You'll be a success at whatever you do.
Thanks. I'm looking to make it go national. We want to take this a national tour, so we're ready to book
That's what I was
anywhere.
getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to take it national. We want to go across the country
Yeah.
and do a good
Well, there's
job and
enough boomers
hit the
out there, and
hit the
and
shows.
we're pretty well beaten up pretty good. The boomers are kind of forgotten tribe.
Well, I didn't forget about them.
No, no,
I'm
no.
one of
I
them.
love it. I love it. That's why I said I'll do everything I can to help.
Thanks.
Well, I think we pretty much covered everything. Is there anything else you want to tell the people before we get to my favorite part?
The last minute.
Yeah, well, but I want to make sure because I think we
Oh,
covered darn near everything. Is there anything else you want to tell the
oh,
people
well,
before we
I did try to make another movement go national for the last 3 years. I've been producing a monthly comedy show called Cans for Comedy. And
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah, so what I do is I do the show for free, and I get a headlining comic for every show, every different headlining comic, then they do it
Right.
for free. And open micers come in, the audience comes in, and they all bring in cans and clothing for homeless, helping homeless.
Wow.
And it's been a project of mine for 3 years, and we've done really well
Fantastic.
for the community, for the local homeless community. So I've filled my Honda Element over and over and over and over and over of donations of clothing and food and cans
Wow.
over the last 3 years.
You're a
So
good man, Ace. You're a good man.
and I was trying to make that go national too. So if there are any other comics or rooms in the nation that wants to do a Cans for Comedy show, please have them contact me. I'd be happy.
I'll
Happy
put
to
all the links
help
you
them get
sent
their
me and
start.
everything when we air this. It'll be a couple weeks, but I will air this, and I'll put every link to everything you have going.
Excellent. Thank
Okay,
you very
it's
much,
time.
Scotty T. You the man.
Unless we got anything else, it's time. I'm going to introduce you. Ace Williams, your comedy minute. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, here's what happened. I couldn't believe this. I'm at the mall
Right?
and I'm at the food court and I set down my
Right.
tray and it's kind of busy in there. And I
Right.
noticed something sitting on the table already there. And I didn't, when I set down my tray there, it was a couple of hearing aids. Unbelievable. Like somebody lost their hearing aids. I'm like, really, these look pretty expensive. So I'm looking around, just casually looking around the mall, casually looking around all the places that are handing out their free chicken thigh pieces, the samples. So, and I see this small, little, thin old man, and he looks very worried. He kind of reminded me of Gollum from the movie Lord of the Rings, where he's all sad and just depressed when he lost his ring, and he's freaking out. This old man, and he kind of reminded me of that. So he's like just sad, and he's looking around everywhere, looking at all the counters, and I felt terrible. So I grabbed the hearing aids and I walked all the way over to him, and just a sad, just really sad guy, And I said to him, excuse me, sir. You appear that you're looking for something, and I was wondering if you lost your hearing aids, because I found a pair at the table. And the thing he told me, I'll never forget as long as I live. It was so cathartic when he finally replied. He said, "What?"
I was laughing. If you noticed, I was laughing. I saw that one go, the setup. It took me a second, but the hearing aids, I thought, well, he ain't gonna hear you. The old joke about what do you call a dog, with no legs or something. It don't matter. He ain't gonna hear you. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he ain't coming.
Well, you're a pretty
Yeah, that
bright
was great.
fellow.
I like that one. That was really good. That was great setup.
Thanks.
Great setup. Again, I apologize because I was laughing right away. Like I said, it took me a second, and all of a sudden, I guess you could actually hear or see the smoke coming out my head. I was like, oh no.
The light bulb went off and the smoke.
Yeah, the old guy ain't gonna hear you. Hey, buddy, I got your hearing aids. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
I hope you had a good time.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to stop the recording. Hang out for a second. And thank you again for being here. And I'll do everything I can to try and help out make sure I get it right. Broken Down Boomers Comedy Show. I like it. And the cans and everything else you got going.
Broken Down Boomers.
Okay, buddy. Thank you very much for being here. Hang in there for a second.